Hey, Les.
Hey, Ange.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
I can't believe we're doing this. I cannot believe this is our life. This is our
Okay,
life. This is
not
our life.
only are we doing this, but here we are with a video to match our audio.
Listen. We had to go big for season 2
That's
because we
true.
are officially podcasters.
That's true. And we
We
have
are.
to give the people what they want.
We have to give the people what the power to the people. We have to give the people what they want, and they clearly have been enamored. So, yeah, I still can't believe it. Okay, so
Let me just say a couple things, a little
go,
preamble. First of
go.
all, only 30 minutes ago did you tell me that we would be recording this evening.
Listen,
So I
I'm
had to
spontaneous.
scramble and get ready. So one of the things that I did, I said, okay, I'm not doing any makeup or anything like that, but I grabbed some lipstick. And I just have a question for you.
What?
This lipstick tastes a little funny, and I'm thinking back, and it's probably about 10 years old. Do you think it's too old to wear? Do you think I need to get rid of this now? It went on a little thick.
Oh my gosh, Leslie, throw it away. That's the bacteria.
But the bacteria is holding the pigment.
That's the bacteria holding it together.
All right.
Please discard it.
I think this is the
Immediately.
last one because I feel
Immediately.
like my lips are turning to clay. The second thing I want to be wide open and reveal to our listeners. So, as you all know, we record in our closets. Well, I record in my closet, but
This might as well be a closet that I'm in. It's
I
small.
had on my sweater. And I said, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable wearing this outfit. And you just told me, yeah, you need to put on something with color because I'm blending in with the shoes.
I should have brought tissue because I knew you were gonna make my eyes
How
run.
the hell does one blend in with shoes? What do I look like, a heel?
Oh my God, Leslie,
All right,
please.
so I had to put this color on top of my gray sweater. So that's how I'm just going to start.
We didn't even do our opening.
Oh,
we didn't even do our opening.
Like,
you just launched
who are
into
these
it.
people talking? Okay,
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to
another
episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn. All right.
Welcome to season 2.
Yes.
As you can see, not much has changed. Not much has changed. Well, some big things have changed. Obviously, we are now on video as well as audio. So we really wanted to come with more in season 2 than we had in season 1. We know you guys loved us. Listen, we missed doing this so much, even though we continue to talk to each other at least 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But
I think we even upped it. We upped it from like 2 or 3 to maybe 3 or 4.
And some of those conversations.
We join each other on our commutes, back and forth. It's like, okay, I'm at work now. Gotta go.
I'm in the OR. Okay, gotta go. Anything quick?
Go.
No, but we really missed our podcast. That means we missed you guys because the only thing that's different is not having you. And so we did take a longer break than we expected. A lot of stuff happened, but we got through it. We got through it, and I have to say that some of the excitement that kind of turned our frowns upside down was knowing that we were coming back with season 2. We've got some great
It kind of put a little more pep in our step.
It put a little more pep in our step, for real. So yeah, we've got guests this season. We did end last season with our wonderful friend and guest, Kim Coles. So we're going to continue with that. We have some great topics, and we really want to focus on giving you a lot of good information, a lot of good inspiration. And so we have topics like what do we have lined up, Les? We've got someone who decided to take a sabbatical from
in the
her
middle of this kick-ass career.
In the middle of a kick-ass career.
A whole team of people following her, and
crying that she was leaving.
And she just made a decision for herself that this was something that her heart was leading her to do, and she stepped out boldly to do that. So that's going to be a nice conversation.
Definitely.
What else are we going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about retiring and retiring a little early, and that you don't have to have everything lined up. Now, don't be stupid, but you don't have to have every I dotted and every T crossed to go
in order
to
retire successfully and happily.
Coming on to talk about that. Exactly.
But there's another person speaking about retirement differently also.
Who's that?
What about retiring to another country?
Right. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. So not necessarily staying in the States, but retiring abroad and to a new place, and what that adventure might lead to, and all of those things. That's really bold. That's like a boldness that I'm not sure I've developed
really
yet.
Juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I think she also has jumped out of airplanes like twice. So that's like next level bold. That guess is next level bold. We want to talk about nutrition and health, and remember the dermatologist that we have coming on to talk about
well, she's going to talk about a couple of things, but one of the things that's really big is hair loss, and women's emotional struggles with that, and
right.
I think that's you all are going to like that one.
Yeah, all of them. So,
but here's the other thing that I think that is going to be really cool this season, that is a lot different from last season, is, as we've been saying, now we're going to be linking up, and we're doing video as well. But you all are going to see how Ange, every time you see her, she looks different. So how are you going to look today with your different glasses? What
that's going to be a part. That's going to be a part.
Be wearing.
That's going to be a part of the big surprise, right? You all, I think we talked about this last season, that I have a wig line. I'm a wig designer for theater, and I love curly wigs of all flavors. I think that hair is one of the ways that Black women can have self-agency, and we decide how we show up because we happen to look good in just about anything, just about any color. And so I do plan to.
How's my burgundy showing up?
It's looking good. It's looking good. I know you just had it done, so it's not as bright, but it's a nice, deep, rich color. It looks rich. It looks rich. So you're gonna see me looking all different ways, and it's just what I do. You're gonna be seeing me with my natural hair too. It's just however I feel. That's what I'm gonna do. However I feel. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you? What have you been into the last month or two? I mean, I know.
A lot.
I know.
My work in the theater was never something that I planned. It just kind of evolved. a friend connected me. I was just kind of covering for someone. And then I started getting asked to assist and then supervise and then design. And then it just kind of picked up different theaters calling and asking if I'm available. Um, and I resisted sometimes. I don't know why. I gotta check on that why. But now
Mm-hmm.
I'm just fully in it. Hopefully, I'll be doing some teaching at some universities in the area. Really
Wow.
talking about black hair culture,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's really special and unique about us from the continent and the diaspora. And so I love talking about the aspects of our culture where hair is central, and I love teaching people about that.
I like that you're developing an ability or a practice now of linking the cultural background
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
actual doing and the wearing of the hair.
right,
It's
right.
not just a matter of putting on a hair, a wig or a
Mm-hmm,
hairpiece or presenting
mm-hmm,
yourself in that way, but some
mm-hmm.
of the history behind it and the whys and things like
Right,
that.
right,
So,
right, right.
taking it to a university setting, I think is going to
Yeah,
be cool because it will just be another educational aspect.
absolutely, absolutely. And I made the point to let them know that if they just want someone to teach them how to do
Mm-hmm.
um, our natural hair, uh, they're better off with someone else. I mean, I am a licensed natural hair care specialist, but my secret sauce is just my deep interest in the cultural aspects of our hair. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm hoping that I will be educating a group of young people to be, to be more mindful of these things when they go out into the world of the arts and so
Mm-hmm.
on. So yeah, what about you? What you
And
been
it's
doing?
and it's and it and it and it's young people of different cultures and
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yep,
and even people from our culture. We don't always know
that's
the
true.
history behind things like locks
That's true.
or
That's true.
afros
Right.
or short
Right.
hair or
Right.
cornrows or different
Right.
different things
Right.
like that. So,
And how tied our hair is to politics and power and
mm-hmm.
joy and a lot of pain,
Resistance and
resistance,
yeah, yeah.
disappointment, all these things, how we connect with elders, so many things that are a part of the culture of our hair. It's not just this thing, it's not just vanity. It's so much more than that. And I love kind of scratching at that.
And when the dermatologist, when you all get to meet her and hear her, she's such an elegant lady.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets to describe part of her practice and the customers, or I should say patients that come to her
Mm-hmm.
complaining of pathology with their hair or hair loss or things like that, just the emotionalism
Yeah.
that accompanies that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Wow, wow. I'm really looking forward to presenting that to you all.
Yes, for sure. All right. What have you been up to? I know you've been busy. We've both been busy, but your busy is like life-saving kind of busy. So it always kind of is up there for me. So what you been up to in the
I'll say
OR?
potentially life saving. However, that's like Ern often says, like, did you save any lives today, honey? I'm like, no, not today. But here's the thing, it's just like being an airplane pilot. You don't want any drama in
Right.
the OR. You want a boring routine day.
Oh my
So busy
gosh.
for me, if I don't mind busy, but I don't want any drama.
That's
I
true.
want smooth sailing.
Uneventful.
I want the
Uneventful.
monitors to go beep, beep, beep. None of this beep, 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 beep. Could you imagine? That would be like an I Love Lucy skit. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Oh my gosh. Now people are going to see how you crack me up. They've been hearing it. Now they're gonna see. But that's okay. I love to laugh. Clearly, I love to laugh. That's why I keep you around. You keep me laughing. You keep me laughing.
I'll give you something that I just got some feedback from. And I don't think that I ever mentioned this to you.
What?
About 5 or 6 years ago, I became part of I joined a very large research effort. Mm-hmm. One of the centers under the study is Columbia University, mm-hmm. but there are several centers countrywide, it could be worldwide, involved. The research is called All of Us.
Okay.
And I'll put the link in the podcast to it. What it is actually, it's an investigation of individuals' genetics.
Okay.
And how genetics are involved in different disease processes, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. and susceptibility to disease. And we kind of know that. But also they're trying to develop a database and looking at how genetics influences pharmacology and how medications are affected by one's genetics. And obviously, the larger pool of information that they have, the more that they can look at trends for better medication management and targeting to different genetic populations. So I got...
Is it true that... sorry, I wanted to ask, I'd heard that most of the medicine that is prescribed dosage is based on white males, that they don't make, in general, there are not changes or accommodations that they make for groups outside of that. Is that true, or is that still true, or what do you know about that?
I gotta say, I'm not exactly sure about that. Mm-hmm. However, I do know that people of color are underrepresented in things like clinical trials, where when drugs are made, and manufacturers, and some of the research that goes behind it. And I think that's why this effort with this research, All of Us, this project, is so important, to look at the variability that genetics plays in terms of medication efficacy and how well it works, or things like that. It's already known that there are certain medications that work better in certain populations. For example, ACE inhibitors. Ernest explains this to me sometimes, and I don't always remember the difference with the medications, but they work differently with African Americans versus Caucasian people, or dosages may need to be increased or decreased according to your ethnic or genetic background, I'll say. So I've been, over the years, getting different pieces of information from this research. So I was never really comfortable using those popular products like Ancestry DNA or 23andMe, where, as I understand it, they actually own the samples that you, like in the small print,
Right.
you give them the right to own the samples that they obtain from you.
Okay.
And for the low price of $99, they will then give you the results while still owning and having the ability to do whatever they want with the sample.
Wow.
I thought that sounded kind of creepy. Yeah. It sounded a little creepy to me. So I felt a little more comfortable participating in this university-based, medicine, science-based project. All of us research.
Right.
And now, 5-6 years later or so, I'm slowly starting to get information back. So
like
today,
what type of information? Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
Okay, tell me.
Today, I just found out what my genetic origins are likely to be.
Okay. I haven't heard this. I'm so excited.
I know. In fact, I might need to just pull it up a little bit. But no, I kind of remember. So 78% of me.
Yes.
As one can imagine, it's sub-Saharan African.
Okay. That's as detailed as they get?
No.
Okay.
You see, you jumped in. You see? You're interested.
Sorry.
So that's 78%. And of that 78%, 56 of it is West African.
Okay.
Senegal, Ghana, or Nigeria.
Okay.
And 22% is East African, Kenya.
Okay. Wow.
But then I'm 22% Western Europe.
Oh, we knew, Nana Margaret.
You had no idea, did you? That United Kingdom, Ireland.
Wow. Yeah.
Sweden, I think.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the DNA, the genetic background part of it.
Okay. We gotta scratch at that. That's an episode right there.
It might be. So the other thing I found out, these are so obscure, but it's very interesting. I don't remember the name of the gene offhand, but I may be more sensitive to bitter tastes because of my genetic background.
Okay. So I'm the one who has an aversion to cilantro.
Like I too should have an aversion to cilantro based on these results. That was a whole other category.
Yeah.
But I love cilantro.
We fight about cilantro. Cilantro is like an affront to my senses.
You did.
If I taste one little piece, it ruins the entire meal for me.
Well, that's like me with olives. I can't even walk down the olive aisle in the supermarket because it's that. Yeah, it's nauseating.
Oh man! Avoid it. Olives aren't bitter though, are they?
No, it's not. Really? I don't know. We're just talking to food aversions.
Yeah. All right.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. So
the other thing, was there anything else I learned? Oh, you know what else? There is a gene that controls the consistency of earwax. Say what now?
Say what now?
And my earwax is wet.
Oh.
Versus the dry genetic background.
I just want to ask
I don't have the dry gene.
I want to ask something. Can you give me just one possible use for that information? Just one. Just one. Q-tip?
Maybe Q-tip sales?
Well, not Q-tip sales, but Q-tip design? Is there a difference? Should they be coated? Like what? Give me one reason.
I'm thinking it might be protective if a foreign body or a bug gets in your ear. Maybe with a wet wax, it gets caught better, tangled in the hairs in the jungle. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just wondering
saying.
because there are decisions being made about what is to be looked at, right? Right? It's not just.
Well, I don't know if it's decisions per se, but I think it more points to what the genes have been what gene function has been identified.
I see. Okay.
So, for example, gene function may have been for a pointy nose versus a round nose. That may not have any functionality other than holding your glasses up.
Right.
But that was discovered. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
They're giving me as much information as they have.
So is this, it's got to be related to the human genome, just that whole mapping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Wow. One of our guests was involved in that, actually.
They're looking at the functional part of the genome. So we know several years back the genome was identified fully. And now they're looking at individual genes and extrapolating it to how best can we perhaps tailor medications, treatment options, and things like that for to help populations. Let me give you something interesting. I don't have the results yet for this. However, one thing that comes with all of the correspondence I get from all of us research is that they go on and on about counseling whether or not we want certain information. And I have to tick so many boxes after they give me more and more information. For example, forthcoming to me will be genetic predispositions to certain illnesses.
Do you want that?
And genetic predispositions to certain traits. And familial traits.
Okay.
And before I got to the final yes, no, or I'm not sure, there were probably 6 pages of things I had to read and click through.
Okay. Wow.
What are some of the ramifications? What are some of the downsides? What if how this information can be helpful, how it will not be helpful, what it will not mean. Things like this, where to get more information. What do you think I've answered? How do you think I've answered? All right, there were 2 different decisions I had to make.
I know how you answered.
What illnesses or diseases I might be more susceptible or predisposed to in the future. How might I have answered that?
You want to know everything.
Hell yeah, baby! Mic drop! Are you kidding me?
Release the hounds. Release the hounds. Let me tell you, yeah. I not so much. Not so much. Leslie, I did not intend to talk about this, but this is what I've been thinking about as you described this information, because it's stored somewhere. This whole AI thing. And I don't know if I want to go there, but every time I think about big data, all of this information being collected, and how it all kind of links to artificial intelligence, it scares the bejesus out of me.
Me too.
But you're right in the middle of it. What do you mean it scares you? What it was so?
How am I in the middle of it with this genetic information? What do you mean?
Well,
give me the link.
The link is, and I'm not downing it. I'm just saying that I don't, my fear or my, what is that word? Remember
Concern?
That word? The fear of the unknown, agnostophobia. Remember there was a whole club at Tech, agnostophobia? I tell you, we were such geeks. My brother was a part of that. Anyway, fear of the unknown might have stopped me from becoming involved in that project. I would leave it up to people like you. Because I think the information, remember, I love that you're doing it.
But here's the thing. Your involvement, remember, you can disclose whether or not you want the information.
I get
they
that.
will use your information in order to, again, their mission is as I've described.
Right.
But if you're not comfortable or unwilling to get that feedback, you don't need to. Is your concern that you don't want it out there? You just don't want your information out there?
Okay, so the other day I had lunch with the executive director of an organization that I'm on the board. And so he was talking about AI, and I'm like, look, I'm from the 2001 Space Odyssey, when HAL started to take over. I'm like, I'm from that generation, and that scarred me for life. It just scarred me for life. And so, but he was telling me about, I don't know if this is true, but I think it was true. He was telling me about these robots who created their own language. Like the two robots created a language where they could communicate with each other, but not with the developers, the scientists, and so on. And so the scientists tried to figure out what they were saying at some point. When they couldn't, they just pulled the plug. They were like, nope.
Shut this down. They got the axe.
They just shut it down.
But yeah.
So for me, it's not me getting the information. It's more, what are they doing with the information? How is it being used? But I know that with any of these types of things, there's the ethical ramifications of it, right? And because it can be used for good.
Yeah, but there are unscrupulous, unethical entities out there that, we all know the story of Henrietta Lacks.
I know. I was thinking about her.
Her genetic information and how sad that went. Look at, mistrust of the medical system with Tuskegee experiments with syphilis.
Yeah.
So we can all point to unethical uses. But on the other hand, as a scientist, as a physician, as a humanitarian, I also think of the good that can be done. And for me, it's worth the risk.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that.
How, though, is that related to my wanting to know my disease potential?
That's just you.
That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah. You used to run. You still do run towards. I would be the one to. I'm not sure, Les. You're like, come on, let's go check it out. It's okay. Because I'm such a deep thinker. I think those things, that type of information, can just take me so deep in my head. I don't know if I have enough things that I think about all the time. I don't know if I need to add any more, but anyway, it sounds interesting.
Let me ask you this. That just reminds me, how there are certain diseases, Huntington's disease and Lou Gehrig's disease. What's the I'll say Lou Gehrig's disease. I'm blocking on the name of the official name of the disease.
That's not ALS, is it? No.
ALS, yes. Where it's autosomal dominant or a genetic predisposition, and there's 100% likelihood of getting that disease in the future if you know your genetic makeup. Or if your two parents have a disease or whatever. So my question to you is, you're 25 years old. You know that either you're carrying the gene for 90% likelihood of breast cancer in your future, or Lou Gehrig's disease, or whatever the case may be. My question is, would you want to know?
I probably wouldn't want to know. I think I kind of put it in the same realm of thinking as why I wouldn't want to know. Like when I was pregnant with my middle child, right? And because I was over 35, um, that was already a trigger for, okay, the baby may have some abnormalities. So they wanted to do amniocentesis. And I was going to do it. And on the actual table that I was laying on, I decided not to because it did not matter to me what the test results would have been. Nothing would have changed except me maybe preparing somewhat, but nothing would have changed. Yeah, but I just think whatever you're ready for, you're ready for. You're just gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna do
and
whatever you need to
because we're
do.
believers, the Lord gives us, he makes us ready for whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of
interesting, isn't it?
That's why I'm not doing the test, okay?
But there are people. There are people that learn of their predisposition to breast cancers and they prophylactically get their bilateral mastectomies.
Yeah.
That's one action that you could do,
right,
to try to prevent,
Yeah. I know. I mean, I'm not saying that my thinking about it is rational at all.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. That's why there are people like you in the world. So you're going to take care of stuff for me, and then I don't have to worry about that. And I'm sure there are certain things that I take care of for you. I can't think of what they are right now, but I'm sure that there
design
are
choices.
Okay.
Design choices.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. The trivial things. Okay. Fine. But
no, I
applaud you for doing it. I know that it comes from a place of being helpful and, just being a leader and stepping out and doing things for your community, for humankind. So that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So, So anyway, that was a nice discussion. Yeah, I like that.
I'm excited. I'll let you know when the rest of or do you want to know when the rest of the results come in?
Maybe that's a whole episode we can do. Maybe that's a whole episode. And I was mentioning that one of our guests actually was a part of I think it was prior or when they were reaching the point where they were going to map the human genome. They were brought together ethicists and medical anthropologists. She's one of those, and to look at the ethical ramifications of what was going to unfold from this. You know what I mean? And so maybe we can poke at that a little bit when we interview her.
When we air that.
So Les,
I'll just mention what's coming up for us.
Yeah, go.
We're trying to plan our getaway.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really. That doesn't mean that we're going to take another hiatus from the podcast.
No,
though. We can podcast from any closet, anywhere. You might not have 100 pair of shoes behind you, most of which are my husband's, by the way.
You notice I did not mention the TV. I did not mention the TV.
Oh, yeah, I'm on TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there it is. There's the TV.
So we're planning our wellness getaway.
Yeah.
Not our luxury 4-season luxurious stay.
Time.
We're looking for, like we do it all the time, not this time, not this week. No, we're actually looking for a wellness getaway where we can, we may not be able to podcast that week because we're going to be off the grid.
We need to talk about that. I'm not sure if I want to be off the grid. We're
going to be off the grid, but we'll talk about it.
Listen, because I want a podcast. I want to,
we'll see if the mood hits us.
Okay.
All
right. And of course, we're looking for a Black-owned place, and
we want to do yoga. We want to eat healthy for a little bit.
Healthy eating,
mind
walking,
work,
yes,
body work,
mind and body work, yeah, and maybe coming back and just fully going into healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, right? Right, Les? Right? Right?
Okay. Okay.
That's the start. That's the gearing up for it. I didn't tell you that part.
Well, that's the older, bolder, healthier lifestyle we're looking for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a challenge or something with our listeners and kind of get that going. That would be cool. That would be cool. And guess what? A few episodes ago, Leslie talked about not needing assistive devices for walking. And I think she jinxed me because I have been in a boot because I have tendonitis in my left ankle, and I've been in a boot. Ooh. And every time I go down the stairs, I think about what she said. I'm like, that damn Leslie, she jinxed me. Why does she even have to say that? So I do not walk with an assistive device, but hopefully just for another few weeks, and I'll be back to get shape and be able to walk again, like walk around and do my daily walks. So anyway, all right, Les.
Yeah,
should we call this a wrap? We're good.
I think we're wrapping, but yeah, I'm happy to be back. And next week you're gonna hear a dynamic speaker.
Yes,
she's gonna excite you, and she's a pleasure to listen to, and such a sweet lady.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk about that later.
We have some. We hope that you will appreciate some of the changes, the upgrades, I'll call them, to our podcast. Yeah, we're really fortunate to have brought some good folks on to help us to expand. We will be starting our YouTube channel since we have the video now and all those things. And so we are glad that you are with us. Thank you.
And I promise to get rid of this lip gloss. It's time.
Could you do it? Yeah, please, Leslie.
It worked.
Please.
It worked for a while, but my lips are sticking together right now.
Now you're going to have to wear Vaseline on your lips to soften them up.
To get it off. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Whoop, whoop.